listen to our stories. It's a lot of us have a wealth of knowledge.
Stand up, speak up, pass it on. You have so much to give to younger friends and to older friends.
Fight for our traditions, the traditions that have come from our elders.
I've always stood up for what I thought was correct and right and purposeful.
Every generation has a fight. If you look back in my mom's era when they were walking the path and, striking and things like that, it hasn't changed. But we're still fighting the same fight that my parents were fighting.
It's something that people are grappling with because everybody's so scared about what's happening to democracy and happening to the systems that we do rely on. This photograph was taken 1 hour after Wendy and I met in 1976. That's Wendy on the left. She was our waiter. I thought she was just the bee's knees. We bought this house in 1998 together. In 2012, she was diagnosed that she had frontal lobe dementia. It affects your speaking, it can affect your mobility. I settled into being the primary caregiver, and during that time, I was able to hire help. But you can't get ready for being the adult and they being the children. You just can't do it. I took care of Wendy and she took care of me. And now I'm 77 years old.
There's so much history in this house. I was 29 when I moved in this house. Today I'm 79, soon 80.
Housing is extremely important. I do everything I can to remain housed here. I had to go into my savings to pay the taxes to stay here. When I see people on the street in cardboard boxes and tents, I put myself in that position and say, wow, is that me? Is that going to be me soon?
I worry about the housing, and them cutting off Section 8 and giving them notices just like that. I'm not considered low income, but middle income is low income because you live in the middle income life and you're still struggling. You need people to understand that. You need government to understand that. We still are struggling.
The systems that are in place now serve many functions, but they really don't go far enough. There's not enough support for elders when it comes to health care.
That's why a lot of seniors are working until they 70, 80 years old. My mother, she was a nurse, and my dad, he was a hustler in New York City. So he was a very popular person. They called him Big Time. So I think I got a lot from him. And I like to hustle too, legally, like I sell things. I just need to stay active and busy so that you won't sit still and think about problems. I'm an advocate, so I volunteer all over, and I advocate for seniors, making sure that they live comfortably where they stay. I'm passionate about health because I went through cancer, and I want people to speak up about it. I don't want people to be quiet.
I remember when I started out in AIDS work, I didn't know what I was doing. I had never been a caregiver. When the AIDS crisis hit, I started hearing about it. I started reading the magazines and the gay rags in West Hollywood, and I started bringing the information back down to South LA. And I would tell my friends, and they said, oh, that's okay, don't worry about that. I said, yeah, I think we need to worry about it. And then I met a fellow, Carl Bean, who was a minister down here on this end of town, and he was doing the same thing that I was talking to my friends and going to hospitals, visiting people, and taking care of them when they got sick. So we formed the Minority AIDS Project right in my living room to expand services to people of color, HIV services.
all the caretaking that happened during the AIDS crisis. Even people in the direst of circumstances are willing to help each other out.
We just created what was necessary. Now, I realize now we were creating history. We didn't know that. We were just doing what was needed.
I'm passionate about a lot of things, and if I do see something that needs addressing, then I will address it. I'll come up with an idea, and then I just get a crew together.
When systems fail, I think there's a duty to be available.
I have some optimism, that we're going to get smarter and more willing to do hard stuff because we have to.
My life was important, my friends' lives were important, and they were important enough to fight for. Once you realize that you have a place, you have to demand that people recognize that, and not be afraid to stand up.
We can't just sit here and talk and plan. Action, people.